The Fabulous 413 podcast is funded by the UMass 5 College Credit Union, dedicated to creating access to financial well-being for local people, businesses, and communities. Insured by NCUA, umass5.coop. The Fabulous 413 podcast is funded by Northeast Solar in Hatfield, specializing in solar installations, battery storage, and clean energy solutions tailored to the homes and businesses of Western Massachusetts. Northeast-solar.com.
Welcome to the Fabulous 413. I'm Khalees Smith.
And I'm Monty Belmonte. Later in the show, we get extra hands-on with CSER Executive Director Jennifer Kaur in Warwick at Hetty Bell Farm. Because apart from being the penultimate day of our March membership drive, it's lambing season.
The best time of the year for this person who just happens to have been born in the year of the sheep. But we'll get friendships before farm animals on this show as we talk with the folks of East Hampton Theatre Company about their upcoming production that opens this weekend. Set in 1920s England and Italy, Enchanted April follows four very different women who, feeling stuck in their ordinary lives, pool their resources to rent a secluded villa on the Italian Riviera. A practical arrangement quickly turns into a transformative journey as the setting and unexpected connections reshape the characters in unforeseen ways.
Enchanted April is not a conventional romance, but a richly layered story filled with wit, emotional insight, and profound transformation. Humor sparkles throughout, but it's balanced by moments of honesty, vulnerability, and hard-won grace, while acknowledging the importance of love in its many different forms.
And this weekend, the East Hampton Theatre Company will open their production of this show at Williston Theatre, running March 14th through the 22nd. And with us today to speak about the show are company president Michael Budnick and cast members Louise Krieger and Katerina Mitskogen. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
Oh, our pleasure.
Enchanted April in March. Couldn't wait a month, huh? Whose decision was that?
Wow.
Well, we do a show in June, so it would have been just too
tight,
compressed if we had done it. Yeah, March is also a great time to do it at Williston because the kids are gone.
Is it spring break for them?
Yes.
Oh yeah, perfect
I
timing. Yes.
I mean, we kind of did the elevator pitch, but talk about your particular characters in this production, Louise and Katerina.
Let's start with Louise.
Sure, thank you. I play Costanza, who is the Italian housekeeper, house servant, and I'm only in Act 2, but she is sort of the welcoming arms of the estate. She and Anthony Wilding, played by Randy Garfield, wonderfully. They are the hosts of this party, and they keep the house running and provide a little comic effect.
Very much so. Costanza is like the comic heart of she's amazing.
And what about you, Katerina? Tell us about your character.
Certainly. I play Lady Caroline Bramble, who is a sort of brooding, aristocratic flapper. And she is not as funny, I wouldn't say, as Costanza, but she, I think, provides a lot of the heart of the play, a lot of the depth of the play, along with our other two leads. Yeah, she's a character.
What about these two characters, or this play in general, like an Edwardian times related to you now?
A running theme in the play is sort of accepting change and coping with loss. And I think that's something that transcends time, that's not specific to the 1920s. And I feel like that's a huge thing that I was able to connect with Caroline. There's a lot of coping with change that she's doing. So,
and for Costanza, it's really, for me, it's about sort of welcoming all comers, because the four women who arrive as a party together are very different in age, they're very different in social strata, they're very different in their life experiences, but as they get to know each other, they find that they have many, many connections and similarities and a sisterhood.
The play Enchanted April takes place in the 1920s, and it's from a novel by Elizabeth von Arnim, but play by Matthew Barber. But was the play written in the same time frame, or was the play more contemporary, reflecting on the 1920s?
Yeah, it was written, in the 50s or 60s?
I believe so.
So not so distantly removed from that time frame. And we were talking a little bit about some of the resonances right now with what's going on, but a lot of this has to do with the strength of female characters, right? So can you talk a little bit about that? It is Women's History Month. despite the fact that the play is Enchanted April, it is March. Talk about, the role of women in this play, either with your character or with the play kind of in general, Katerina.
Certainly, yeah. I think there's a lot of discussion. Caroline says things explicitly like it's difficult to be inappropriate without men. Like so much of the male presence in the show is like containing and suppressing a lot of the female presence, especially in the first act. And I think having the ladies remove themselves and having them form the sisterhood that Louise was talking about, it speaks a little bit like a critique to some patriarchal stuff going on, especially at the time, but also just of like the ways that women's roles trap them and the ways that breaking those roles can help them find themselves outside of them. So yeah, there's a lot of that that's going on, particularly for the main two ladies, Rose and Lottie. They talk a lot about husbands, and it's really sweet to watch them sort of grow into themselves. From Caroline's perspective, it's a little bit more of the modern woman's struggle with patriarchal stuff, where she's less trapped by housewifery and is a little bit more trapped by like expectations about appearances and being social in a way that is both alluring and also not too alluring, So there's a lot that you can read into there. It's a beautiful critique.
Louise, do you want to speak to this relationship that you have with Mrs. Graves, who's another character? She's like the Dame Judi Dench character, and she walks into this situation. I'll let Louise describe her demeanor at first and then what happens.
Beautifully played by Jane Barish, Lady Graves, Signora Graves. She's kind of Judi Dench, or I'm thinking the Dowager Empress of
Right.
Downton
The Dowager
Abbey.
Countess, yeah.
Maggie
Countess.
Smith.
Maggie Smith.
Bringing it back to public television in the midst of our fund drive right now. You can get PBS Passport and watch all of that if you become a member at nepm.org or 800-639-8850.
And their relationship at first is quite adversarial, although Costanza recognizes that she is in fact there to serve and to take care of. And I don't want to give too many spoilers, but they do come to a peaceful entente by the end.
There's so much humor in Lady Graves' reaction to people she's not used to associating with, and she's a bit stuck up and very set in her ways. And Jane has really captured the humor of that situation.
Beautiful.
And we're talking about the play Enchanted April, which will open this weekend, March 14th, and go through the 22nd at the Williston Theater in East Hampton. We're with the East Hampton Theater President, Michael Budnick, and cast members for Enchanted April, Louise Krieger and Katerina Mitskogen.
Louise, your day job is at the Smith Museum, correct?
Yes.
Okay, I feel like there's definitely some parallels between like the caretaking that you do in your day job and the caretaking that's required in this role. Can you talk about some of those parallels that you brought to this role or that you might have seen?
That's really insightful, and we've never met, so that's really special to me.
Although we've been to the Smith Museum multiple times, and we're
delighted.
hoping to come back very shortly.
Yes.
Please do come back often. Yes, I have been at the Museum of Art at Smith coming up on 20 years, and I feel very much a family there within the staff. And I'm affectionately known as the mother hen, and I do like to keep things comfortable and the supply closet stocked and the coffee brewed and along with the rest of my job. And I really feel that coming through working with ETC in this particular show. Jane and I are, shall we say, the veteran members of the cast, and there's this fabulous group of young people who are millennials or thereabouts, and I really feel like they are becoming family as well, and having 4 new kids is great.
Aww. Why did you want to do this particular play now? Like, I understand, like, it is Women's History Month. This is a show about the slow, subtle empowerment of women in 1920s England and Italy, but there's a wealth of plays that East Hampton Theater Company has done over the years. Why this play now?
Well, our director is Gilana Chalimsky, and Gilana is on our board, and Gilana has been in love with this play since she was 8 or 9 years old and first saw it. She loves the depiction of platonic relationships and how important these relationships are to us to keep us sane when we have so much going on. not relevant to today.
I don't know what you could possibly be talking about as I work at a news station where I am assaulted with the news all of the times that I'm in
Especially when we
this
go to the
building.
bathroom, oddly.
Right?
The radio is always on in the bathrooms here.
Great.
So try to hold it if you can.
When we've chosen our plays, we love to have a director who's absolutely passionate about the project. And that has been the case for everything that we've put on. Because just like Louise said, we are a family. We all came from being involved in a lot of different community theaters. And different community theaters and regional theater have different personalities. And some of those personalities can generate conflict, and some of them are not the most supportive situation. I hate to say it, because there's so many personalities out there. So we thought, what if we could just keep the drama on stage?
Wouldn't that be nice?
Right. So we kind of affectionately call ourselves the No Drama Llamas. And we even have a tapestry with llamas on it. And we want to do things that make people happy. It's called a play.
Yeah.
Okay. And we want to play. We're doing this because we enjoy it.
The play is the thing, as they say. Katerina, you are one of the actors in Enchanted April, and I'm told that you are a recent Mount Holyoke grad. What are you doing apart from your time on the stage in Enchanted April?
Yeah. I just started at Smith School of Social Work, and so I'm a part-time student, and I work full-time as a social worker in Northampton and the general area doing outreach. So yeah, that's what I'm up to in my spare time, is mostly homework.
Because you're a grad, like getting your master's?
Yes, yeah.
It's interesting, and I know this is a little bit of an inside baseball, but I've been watching the new Star Trek show called Starfleet Academy, and they have an entire episode about how plays are formative in helping through trauma. So as a social worker,
Our town, right?
yes, and they use our town as it. So what are you bringing from your acting background into your social work background?
Or does it work the other way too?
Yeah, do they
how
inform each other?
do they inform each other?
I would say they're definitely informing each other. I think I can bring a lot from the social work thing into Enchanted April, just because I find Caroline to be a very observant person and a very empathetic person, and I think those two, being observant, listening, and paying attention, are just central skills for social workers. So there's stuff that I bring in from there, and then bringing it to my clients. Acting in general is like a process of getting to know somebody, even if that somebody doesn't actually exist, getting to know that person really, really deeply and getting to care for them a lot. And practicing that as a sort of extracurricular fun thing to do definitely strengthens the muscle for when you're doing it for your job. So they definitely inform each other both ways.
That's Katerina Mitskogan, along with Louise Krieger, who are two of the cast members of Enchanted April. We're also joined by Michael Budnick, who is the president of the East Hampton Theater Company, who will present Enchanted April March 14th through 22nd at the Williston Theater in East Hampton.
Without giving too much of the play away, just give people a little teaser. What's your favorite moment in the play?
It's
Okay.
too hard to pick. Okay.
Start with Katerina.
How do I not give anything away? Of the things that I feel like I could sort of touch on, there's a scene between me and Mrs. Graves where it's basically just we're picking on each other, and it's all very polite, but it's all like coded language, and I find that scene a lot of fun.
I'll add, I realized one of my favorite moments in this is the very end of Act 1, when Rose and Lottie are on the train, and you know that they have to continue on because there's Act 2, but they have this moment where the train is going in the background, and they're saying, oh my goodness, what have we done? Stop the train. How do we turn this around? And of course they can't.
I love that.
Yes.
I do want to mention the two central characters in this are Lottie and Rose. They're two, I would say, young middle-aged women. They're married, and they have, I wouldn't say a loveless marriage, but kind of marriage that's sunken into repetition and boredom, and they really have not found their voice. Plus, they're both suffering from trauma from World War I. And it is Lottie that gets the idea to go to this island, and she recruits first Rose to do that, and that's in the first act. And I do want to mention that they're played beautifully by Jenny Coletta and Skylar Evans. And I was really surprised to find about 2/3 of the way through that I have been on stage with Skylar's dad, who is an amazing operatic performer, and we've worked in Gilbert and Sullivan together. And I'm like, that's why she looks so familiar. She's a very accomplished actress, and Jenny is so funny as well. They're really great.
Enchanted April is March 14th through 22nd at the Williston Theater in East Hampton. It is presented by the East Hampton Theater Company, and we've been joined by the president of East Hampton Theater Company, Michael Budnick, as well as two of the cast members of Enchanted April, Louise Krieger and Katarina Mitskogen. Thank you all so much for coming in.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks to your theater company for birthing so many other theater
Oh,
companies.
yeah. It's been great. There's been so many people that have been involved with us who have now, because we're doing larger productions, they're doing smaller productions. There's Why's It Gotta Be Theater Company, which is doing LGBTQ plus inspired stuff. There's Heartbeat Theater, which does small stuff at the Blue Room. And, we just love it. We were originally East Hampton Theater Development Group.
Ah, wow.
And so that is still our mission, is to just this explosion of live performance in East Hampton. It's just been amazing.
It's important stuff. It's what we need to get us through these times. So thanks for doing it.
Thank you.
Thank you, and thanks
The
for having
playing is the thing.
Yeah.
us.
Some enchanted evening.
You can grab tickets to Enchanted April by heading to East Hampton Theater Company's website.
Now we head to one of the most northeast corners of the 4 counties, and our last stop to collect a visit to each of the 9, 7, 8 towns that happen to exist in the area we affectionately call the Fabulous 413.
And get to put our proverbial labors where our principles are by helping out at Hetty Bell Farm with CISA Executive Director Jennifer Kaur.
You're listening to the Fabulous 413 on 88.5 NEPM.
The Fabulous 413 podcast is funded by the UMass Amherst School of Public Policy, offering in-person and online graduate programs in public policy and data analytics. Admissions now open at umass.edu/SPP. The Fabulous 413 podcast is funded by GZA Geoenvironmental, an employee-owned environmental consulting firm in Springfield and Syracuse, hiring entry-level to project managers in ecological and civil engineering to share in GZA's future. GZA.com.
Time for another Local Heroes Spotlight with Jennifer Kaur, the Executive Director of CISA, and Jennifer Kaur of Hetty Bell Farm here in Warwick, Mass. This is the earliest segment we've ever done for the show, Khalees, I think.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is.
But I had to remind myself that I got here 4 hours later than I used to get to work every day from my other morning show. So everything is good in perspective.
Also, the other thing about this is that with this visit, we have now hit all of the 978 towns.
Because there are a few 978 towns in Franklin County that are not technically part of the 413, but we love them anyway.
Not area code wise, but location wise, they're still part of the 413.
Identity-wise, absolutely.
And what's cool is Jennifer's been at the helm of CISA for like a little bit over a year now, I think. And we knew you as a farmer first before a leading farm advocacy organization. So we're going to see you wearing your other hat, although your hat is currently a CISA knit cap.
And matching your hat.
I know.
Khalees wears your hat.
It's at home.
We both have CISA hats, so we needed to take turns about who wears the hat on which day, because it looks too twinning.
If we're going to be like hanging out with animals in like a barn and seeing you doing your chores and maybe helping, I don't want my hair down because I will take whatever we touch with it.
So we left your house kind of on the main drag in Warwick, and we got in your truck and you're driving us.
Yeah, I'm driving you around because we would spend a lot of time going through the snow. We're in this in-between season where skiing up here made a lot of sense for a while. But
So is this all your land, just like the back area of your...
So our home is right there. It abuts it. But so we do not own a bunch of this land. We lease a bunch of land. So we're in a long-time lease on this, and actually almost all of our land. We own 4 acres in total, and we lease about 65.
And I bet people can't tell what type of farmer you are as we open the truck
Can
door.
it get a little bit loud?
Yeah!
So sorry.
Oh, it smells like sheep.
I have now been given what I was promised.
You wanted to see lambs, and here are some lambs.
Because lambing is like, everybody else has their signs of spring. Lambs are my signs of spring, and plus they're super cute. This is awesome.
Yeah, this is the opposite of the silence of the lambs.
Yeah, no, the lambs are rarely silent, it turns out.
This is the barniest looking barn you can imagine, where it's old wood with hay lofts and a tractor in here and pitchforks and shovels and ropes.
And square bales, not circular ones.
And lots of sheep.
Oh,
There comes a baby. There's a little baby lamb.
Oh my God, you're so cute.
so sorry, it's really loud. We're gonna do grain because they're addicts and they'll quiet down.
We're doing some farm chores.
Addict number one.
They followed you out. What are you feeding?
We're gonna just a little bit of grain that they only get while they're lactating. So otherwise, they're 100% grass-fed, but the mamas get grain during lactation. We make all of our own hay, about 2,500 bales a year, and we just there's a lot of variability in the weather and otherwise. We don't know that we're giving them the top quality. So this is extra.
Yeah.
If you're only feeding them while they're lactating, how many times a year do you need grain then?
Yeah, we just this time of year. So Greenfield Farmers Exchange is
Where we were last week, and they said that you
come up here every week.
they deliver to you here.
Deliver to us here, yeah, and
that's
have
good.
been for years and years. So yeah. You want to grab those two. Gotcha. Well, you want to grab one of these. We're gonna try and spread these out evenly on this side first.
Okay, you guys down here. Oh, look at that little black sheep.
Okay, here you go. This is another little problem in that this mama, there's one baby she accepts and one baby she does not accept. There was probably a
that happened with me
separation.
and my children.
Dear God.
Sorry, Enzo.
Wow, Enzo's my favorite of your kids.
Good, you can have them.
Did Enzo have to lay flat and army crawl up to your wife's ninnies? Because that's what's going on right now. But they're we're just trying to get them to a place that gets this baby over the hump with enough colostrum and otherwise, which she's not particularly nice about it.
Why would that happen? Do we know?
No, we do know there was a problem in which this baby got out and we didn't see it for a number of hours at a really critical point. And then we were there's a baby wandering around. Whose baby is that? And it took Olivier and I both scratching our head and they all sort of look the same, figuring out who's who to ultimately repair them, and there's just a bond that's broke.
They didn't imprint in the right amount of time?
It may or may not come back. Usually when they start suckling again, they smell like her.
Yeah.
And so you can sometimes get over the hump, but it's been a few days that she's been acting like this, so I'm not feeling super hopeful. But this baby is able to get food just very creatively and with a lot of annoyance to everyone in this pen, including myself.
Because Jennifer is literally using her thighs to hold the mother sheep against the side of the pen, while one sheep is just delightfully sitting there, and the other one is trying to, as you said, army crawl to get to the teats.
And also stopping the mom from kind of kicking the baby away, which she's trying to do, the baby that's trying to feed.
So the grain is her addiction is working in our favor right now.
So you
She's
brought some grain in
distracted,
here.
Yeah. But to be the favored son, here he is.
Do you name the sheep?
Yeah, so we've been doing this for 17 years. We're out of great names in many ways. We name the girls that we think we might keep. We don't often name the boys, except if they're exceptional or they're really friendly or whatever. And then we try to keep all of our own females. And we're trying to grow our flock, so a lot of the female babies that you see, we'll keep.
What's the name of this one that has got the one child that is a favorite child, the one child that's less so?
This is Fawn. And she's been an awesome mama. She's been with us for a long time. We breed for, a lot of sheep farmers only breed for 5-6 years maximum. We have a ewe that is 10 this year, which is pretty old. We wouldn't normally do that, but she's really healthy. And this will be, certainly she'll go into retirement now. And I think Fawn is 8, so she'll also probably go into retirement.
What type of sheep are you raising here?
These are Katahdins.
Isn't that game that you hate?
I just feel like there's better games than Catan.
Oh, Catan.
Just Catan.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, all of the ewes are Katahdins, and then we normally have a Dorper ram, but we do have a Katahdin ram this year because we're making a bunch of replacements.
So you're impregnating them with a ram.
Well, yeah.
Well, there's, other,
you could
do it, inseminate
It is a lot
other cow
easier
farmers.
to use a ram with sheep than to inseminate
I can
like
imagine,
a cow. Yeah.
yeah.
We always have rams, a couple. You'll meet them, Gustav and Van Morrison.
You didn't call them Ram Morrison?
No, it's a group that we got, and they all have these sort of ridiculous. We named them, but in retrospect, it's what were we thinking? They all have these double names, so it's Dolly Parton and Meryl Streep and Bonnie Raitt. Yeah.
Have you shorn Van Morrison for his Veden fleece?
Wow.
Ah, nice. These guys are also hair sheep, by the way. So.
Oh yeah, so you don't even get
They're
the wool.
they're just, it's a big toupee. It just comes off.
Oh, maybe I could use that.
All right, so that was a nice little meal.
Good luck, little guy. Sorry, Mama.
I
Oh,
mean, I
Khalees
do.
is holding the baby sheep. This one's kicking. Continuing, going through the barns, doing chores at Hetty Bell Farm in Warwick with Jennifer Core of CISA, who is also here at Hetty Bell. Now we're on the inside, just like the backstage tour.
We have accidentally herded all the sheep into the other room.
So did you create Hetty Bell Farm, or did you move here to an existing lamb farm?
Great question. No, we created the farm, so we moved here, and there were some horses grazing this land, and this was 17 years ago. At the time, Olivier and I were looking at farms to make goat cheese in France, like meeting with financiers and trying to figure out, like, is this viable? And working at the farm school, where we had started a meat CSA. And so there was a lot of question around, like, what? Are we going to borrow 300,000 euros and, like, pay that back one bouche at a time? Or, like, is there a different way to do it? And this land abuts our land, so we talked to the landowner, who has now passed, but we're in a long-term lease here. And then over time, we've grown in acreage with many other neighbors leasing us land as well. So it's a thing we built pretty low debt. Like, that was the model. And just to see, like, does it work without putting, you know, all that risk into it, all of that. Okay, here's what we're gonna do.
All right.
Yeah, so this one is even more ferocious. It's kind of like a concert in the 90s. Like, you will get lifted off the ground. Okay. So just roll with that. Like, don't actually roll on the ground, but just, like,
Can we try to crowd surf?
relax your body. You might
relax into it, and you end up safer. If you fight the crowd, you get hurt.
It's a mosh pit with these sheep.
Monty, here's what you're gonna do.
Okay.
You're gonna have this, and as we go in, we're gonna divide and conquer. They'll be very distracted about where the grain is coming from, because there's 3 people. We're gonna do our thing, and there's, on the far side over there, there's like a little shelf trough. You're gonna put that in there.
Okay. Because I have just like a scooper full of it, and Jennifer and Khalees have bowls of grain.
Ready?
Onto the
And we
right,
have to
right?
right over there. And we have to close this door. Khalees, you're gonna hit that feeder right there. Set it inside the feeder, one on each side of the interior of that feeder. Okay. Ready? Interior back feeder. Look, this is like Pearl Jam right here. Here we go. Ready?
Oh, I'm still alive. Here we go. They don't know where to go. They're all confused. Here I go to the trough. Oh, look what we got over here, sheep. There you go. Look at how quiet they got. Look at all these little baby sheep running around. They're skipping.
It is the best! I love lambing season. Really, you want a little hope.
Look at them jumping like that. It's so cute.
Lambs.
Okay, will you guys keep an eye on this one?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because that one is just born right now, so a little fragile.
So what do we need to make sure they don't get trampled?
And this is its mama. And they're all much smarter than you think, but still.
Just born.
Oh, you cutie baby. It's almost like, well, it's about small dog size.
Yeah, it is absolutely small dog size. But it is not as filled out as, like, the other lambs that we're seeing. And now that I'm seeing that one, I can kind of tell some of the younger lambs, like that one's got to be pretty young too.
Yeah. What's the matter? I don't want to touch you. Look at, oh, so new that you can still see
you
the blood on them.
That's not a teat, kiddo.
You'll learn. Oh, see, that one almost got trampled. Oh, now she's crying because she almost got trampled. We had one job and we failed.
Oh, no, she's right here. She's still near her mom. She didn't get trampled. She's good.
She got bumped.
That's okay. They can tolerate a lot.
Khalees
So
is
baby
going
comes from
to.
the front side.
Baby comes in the
Go
front.
From the back and help make the contact.
Look at that teat. It's wanting so badly to be suckled. Get in there, baby. Can we get her to suckle?
There we go.
Yes.
There we go.
You did it, Khalees.
Yay! Now she's got to stay with it.
I know. Now the mom just totally ran away.
Oh, no.
They follow Jennifer Core because they think more food's coming. This poor baby. Come on. Yeah, that's your baby. Let's keep her away from this stampede.
This is so hard. You can get it on your own. Yeah!
Yeah, now she did it on her own. Mom has walked away again.
So hard to keep her in the same spot.
Oh, I know. And I should have taken that sad crying sheep noise and just played it over and over again until we got the $1,000 that we're trying to get for this fund round. No.
Stay with us at Hetty Bell Farm as co-owner and CISA Executive Director Jennifer Core gives us more chores to do as we learn how the farm is evolving and some of the nuances and new challenges to livestock farming they're experiencing.
You're listening to the Fabulous 413 on 88.5 NEPM. Continuing, going through the barns, doing chores at Hetty Bell Farm in Warwick with Jennifer Core of CISA, who is also here at Hetty Bell. Now you got a hay bale, giving them their hay.
So they get like second cut hay, pre-gestation and now that they're lactating. And then they'll go out on grass as soon as that's possible. And we'll do a little bit of in and out for a few weeks, and then they'll be out for the whole season. And the idea is that we have these babies in February, and they are ready to hit the pasture in May.
How many sheep do you have about?
Ewes, 45.
No, ewes.
Ewes
guys. Ewes guys. How many sheep do ewes guys have?
In total, we have about 45 ewes, and then they're babies right now. And so we're hoping to grow the breeding flock to have more babies in the future.
Nice.
More sheep. We make the most money off of sheep because they make their own babies, and we make their own hay, their feed. So we don't have a lot of external inputs. Yeah.
But then there's a couple cows out there.
Yeah, so we've been doing for, 16 years, we've been doing a meat CSA, like a multi-species organic meat CSA. Beef, pork, lamb, chicken, ducks, that we all raise ourselves. And we are right in the middle of moving away from that. Much of it is like life and all of the things, all of the time, and what that looks like year after year after year, which is a reality that many, many, many farms are facing. And so we're trying to figure out how we continue to keep the farm viable, but not have like 12-hour days for 7 months out of the year.
And you are the executive director of CISA, so,
And my husband is often here.
And does he have a job off the farm too?
He has not for all this time until very recently. He started working at the school right across the street. So he works very part-time there. And part of this is just like, you guys are here, so it's fun. We're chatting. Often you're alone. You're alone for all of those hours doing one task after another task after another task. And the thing about livestock farming is that there is tremendous science and sort of like mechanical understanding required. But the reality is that you're often like moving poop from point A to point B, moving animals from point A to point B, setting up a fence, resetting up a fence, picking up a fence again. There is a grind to it, which is part of the like rhythm and joy, but also it can be a little isolating. So we are trying like at this stage, after this many years of like a great run and an awesome membership, to figure out like what does this thing look like for us for the next 10 years. And I think that'll be more wholesale.
All of these things are demonstrative of what so many farmers are going through, including the fact that just being a farmer often isn't enough. There needs to be supplemental incomes or you can't do it at all.
Well, yeah, so that recent report, the special commission, legislative commission report, like outlined again that something like 2/3 of Massachusetts farms are earning about 95 cents for every dollar spent on farming, which means by definition, people have to do something else. So for some people, that's weddings. For other people, that's an off-farm job. For us, that has often been like contracts for conservation practices is what fills the gap and makes it make sense for us. And then we're in a moment where there's just tremendous sort of price sensitivity, where every one of us is facing like high housing costs, like crazy healthcare
Fuel
costs.
costs are
Energy.
going up sky high this week.
Yeah.
Continue going up.
So that makes it challenging for like farms to figure out like what is a price point that's sustainable for them, and also like farmers grow food because it's important to them and they want their community to have access to that food. And what we often see is like farmers not paying themselves enough in order to keep doing that, and that is only sustainable for so long. So for us, our model has always been that I was going to work off the farm. It's not great if you are often saying at your kitchen table like, yeah, if we won the lottery, we could both farm full time. Like, what? I don't think dentists are saying stuff like that, or even like plumbers, right? Like, so why is that the position that farmers often find themselves in?
Right.
All right, I'm going to grab a little bit more hay. Do you want to cuddle with babies, or do you want to lift some hay?
I mean, I will do whatever.
I'll lift
you would
hay.
need. I would love to
And
lift hay
Khalees can
also.
cuddle babies because she did such a good job
I mean,
trying to
I
get
will
that baby to
always-
suckle.
I will always cuddle lambs.
Okay, I'll come help
All right.
lift hay. How goes the cuddling?
I mean, this is the best.
You seem to like Geraldine.
I mean, I like all the lambs. Geraldine's doing okay.
Kind of up in the air about the whole thing. You baby.
I was trying to cuddle, like, to cup her legs, and she's like, no! It must be free.
Dolly Parton,
Dolly Parton.
Well, hey there, it's Dolly.
who's been through a lot. So,
Dolly
know-
Parton's in a little cage all by herself with a little baby. So what's Dolly Parton's story?
we do like to call it a jug and not a cage, but yeah, there's some visual to that.
If you talk about Dolly Parton's
Nice.
jugs, somebody else, they're going to think things all together different.
Airy space with a lot of cozy
It is a,
bedding.
yeah, it is not, it doesn't feel like she's in jail. It feels like she's being separated for a reason.
She's being separated. So she, like, this is one of those, you think you've had all the lessons learned and then you haven't. So she, when she delivered this little guy, she had a uterine prolapse, which is basically like all of your inside organs are outside your body.
Yeah.
And so there was a little moment in which I text Olivier and say, emergency, emergency, please come up to the barn. And he says, what the hell do you think you're going to do? And I was like, we're going to put this back inside.
Ew.
And he was like, no, you're, what? And I was like, well, it's not going to stay outside. So we washed it off and sort of gave it a go. And then I immediately was like, we're calling the vet now. So we called our vet. They came out 45 minutes later, and pretty much they shoved it back in the exact same manner that I was attempting to do, but felt a lot more comfortable to have them do it. And so all of her organs were out. All of her organs are inside. She's back intact. This is a week later.
She looks totally normal.
She's not totally normal, but she's getting better. So
And
we'll
the baby's
see.
here with her.
The baby's here. They're not like, she has been fighting a uterine infection for the last week.
Her uterus was outside of her body.
That'll
in
do
this
it.
environment, like she wasn't in like a surgery. So we'll see. They are doing pretty well under the circumstances, but we're just trying to keep them quiet and separated, and we'll see. Lesson learned.
Dolly Parton, we're rooting for you.
I know we are.
I just want to say a great big thank you.
It was your first prolapse
Well,
uterus?
we've had vaginal prolapses. That's like, we have some fat use, and that happens sometimes. But we have never had a uterine prolapse. And it's one of those things like, oh, it's really rare. Eventually it happens. And it also just felt like astonishing that you can go from that state to this
To not dead.
to not dead and like ruminating and
Yeah.
feeding a baby. And I mean, they're not thriving yet, but they're doing okay. There we go. So she's here, quiet.
Well done, Dolly Parton. We like the sheep version of you and the real version of you.
I will always love you.
Okay, so water is next. So it's sort of like the order of operation is grain to quiet the barn, hay, water, and then we'll deal with poop. So we're going to carry a lot of water. If you're up for it, grab a couple buckets and I'll show you our system. So I should also say, I mentioned that like we bought our house and then we were like, I wonder what's happening with that farm right behind our house. And do we want to move to France or do we want to do this thing here? This barn does not have any electricity. And so we spent like the first year trying to work with a power company and figure, there are power lines that go absolutely straight through the farm and up to the Mount Grace, the top of Mount Grace. And then realized like, actually, we've just spent a year doing this thing without electricity. And it's fine. So we are very fortunate. The farm abuts Mount Grace State Park, which is essentially like a geological water hold. And so there are tons of springs that used to be the water source for everyone in town and is still the water source for Hetty Bell Farm. So all of our water runs here gravity fed, and it's been awesome.
Let's carry your water.
Okay. You want a bucket that has a handle or you're going to be pretty dissatisfied. Water is heavy.
Now we're walking in the cow pen.
So right down there is where we're going. 3 days ago, this was like golf balls of frozen poop, and that was the danger, and now it's just like a softer version of
Now it's just
spring.
muddy poop.
And all of this, like what you're looking at, including the like hay that we lay out here, that's like spent hay, is our fertility for our fields. So we apply this and wood ash, organic wood ash to our fields. And that's it.
All right, I gotta put my recorder in my pocket so I don't get water all over it. Something very 36 Chambers of Shaolin carrying buckets of water like this. It's like Kung Fu training.
You'll have to carry the water for many days to build up your arms. Right. So,
And this is what we do 3 times a day, and then it's still poopy hours later. It's just over and over and over again.
So we're taking
Here we
hay, we're bringing it into the pen, and we're covering the poop with hay.
You got it. Bedding. Yeah.
Bedding.
Yeah.
This is how I deal with poop at my own house.
Yeah, it's a really like satisfying. Just cover it up.
All my problems get covered this way. Just throw some hay on them. Khalees, tell us what you just did.
I just held the baby trying to bait the mom into coming into this pen.
But that was the mom that didn't want the baby to nurse before, so it's nice to know that it
No.
was...
This is the mom that just had the lamb this
Yeah,
morning.
she just had the lamb this morning.
She had 2. She lost 1. So this is the littler of the 2. So it's going to be like a little weaker and struggle a little more with those teats.
But you've separated her out so they can have a little more
Every
easy private
ewe
time.
goes into a jug right after birth to have a couple days of bonding. Because otherwise it's chaos, right?
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
there's a lot of screaming, and these babies have to find their voice, have to recognize their mom's voice. It's pretty incredible. I feel like I read a study, this was years ago. It's like an extraordinary number of faces that sheep, human faces, that sheep can recognize. Like over 200 different human faces. And it makes you realize, like, right, because we sort of think they all look very similar, but they have this ability to really distinguish one another. It's pretty amazing. Very smart creatures. All right, we'll get her water. We'll do a little bit of poop cover on the cows, and we're set up for now. And then you come back in the middle of the day and do it again, and then you come back in the evening and do it again.
The life of a farmer.
Ongoing and never ending.
And like it feels like there's a disorder, order, disorder, order. And it's very satisfying and monotonous.
This is why we go out in the field.
It's awesome. The sun is, it's now getting higher in the sky. It's warming up. Everybody's chilled out now that they've been fed and watered and their poop's been covered by hay.
Quiet and order. Yeah. Again, to repeat, rewind, repeat, rewind. I think the thing that is important is like, here we are, we're sitting in front of this barn. It's like 1830s-ish barn. People have been farming right here, this very land, since then. And this Warwick sits at the top of a watershed. So the choices that we make and the choices that farmers make everywhere impacts all of these people, both downstream literally and figuratively. Mm-hmm. And so it matters, right? When we choose to use organic grain, we choose to not treat our fields with imported fertility. When we choose, these choices matter for water quality and otherwise. And they're choices that people are making across our landscape, really. And also this hay we pay neighbors to help us pick it up. We make square bales, which is not that common anymore. And part of that is because we don't want to get the tractor out every single time we do chores. And I think in theory, we thought our kids would be doing this.
Do they?
Our kids have spent a ton of time up here and have done a ton of work and frankly are pretty jacked when it comes to hay picking up. But no, they don't want to come up and do chores. I think a lot of it is the odor, right?
Yeah.
They are going to their thing afterwards. They don't want to smell like the barn. Mm-hmm. So that is a little bit of an obstacle right now. Anyways, yeah, so this, and we buy our grain from Green Mountain Feeds, so either through the Greenfield Co-op or directly in bulk. That's a local feed company. The money that we spend on this small little business, on this small hillside in this tiny little village, stays here. And that's true for so many farms in our area, most farms in our area. So it's important that they continue to thrive and exist.
To continue those economies and keep them going.
Yeah, our mechanic is a local guy. There's knowledge here that we need. We all of us collectively, sort of communally need.
And all those people got to eat.
But then you bring this knowledge and expertise of doing this for 17 years on this farm as you advocate for tons of farmers across the community with your role as executive director of CISA.
Yeah, and learn about other sort of sectors for sure. And there are very many commonalities that sort of thread across those sectors for sure. Labor, who's doing the labor, what's the margin, what are the sort of routine choice points that you're making. Yeah.
You're like the Mike Vrabel of CISA, where he was a player, Super Bowl winner, and then takes the Patriots to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, although I have to say it's a complicated system. And I am learning a ton about sort of the big picture that you don't always see when you're thinking about your own entrepreneurial enterprise and how do we make this thing work? You're pretty focused in. So it has been a very refreshing step back to think about the kinds of policies that help change the conditions for small farms across our landscape. There's a lot of hope there, and there's a lot of great partners there in terms of people thinking about what are the small tweaks we can make that would have a very big impact. We're not there yet. There's a lot of vulnerability. I think there's a lot of precariousness in farms. And so we got to figure out how we undergird that a little bit more intentionally.
These troubled twins.
Yeah.
They're literally just a pile of trouble.
This is the party. We have a very good friend. He's Panamanian. And he calls this the ping ding caliente. When they're running around. It's crazy.
Well, thanks for showing us what you do when we're not out with you at other people's farms.
Yeah, thanks for doing it with me. You guys are troopers.
Any opportunity to hold lambs will be taken.
They were so cute, and thanks to Jennifer Kaur from CISA, as well as Olivier, her husband, who was there, and letting us hold the lambs and feed the lambs and water the lambs and cover their poop up.
Silence them with grain.
Yes.
On the next Fabulous 413, we continue our new Mayor of the Month series with the newly appointed Mayor of East Hampton, Salem Derby.
Who will also feed and water and cover his poop up with hay.
Wow.
No, that's not going to happen.
No,
it's just a conversation about what's going on
towards that.
in East Hampton.
No.
But we will have word nerd Emily Brewster, who tackles a question about a recent suffix that's been denoting scandals for nearly 5 years. I'm Monty Belmonte. 5 decades. I'm Monty Belmonte.
I'm Clee Smith. We'll talk to you tomorrow on the Fabulous 413.